Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for attending Mahr's March Product of the Month, MarSurf PS10. I'm George Schuetz, your presenter, Director of Precision Gages, working out of Providence, Rhode Island. And if you have any questions during the presentation, use the chat feature and I will respond to your question after the webinar by email. Today, we're going to talk about the product of the month, our MarSurf PS10. We'll go over why surface finish measurement is important. We'll talk about what the PS10 is, some of its features, why you might need it, a little bit of technical data. We'll talk about how it can help you collect data for your system processes. We'll talk about some applications, and then we'll review with the product of the month special for the PS10. So surface finish inspection has become a normal part of the measurement process, and Mahr has a full line of surface finish products. They range from very basic, easy to use roughness gauges to very powerful and sophisticated roughness, profile, and waviness systems. But today we're going to review the importance of surface finish, the basic process of measuring surface roughness, and we'll talk about MarSurf Portable Roughness Surface Gauges. Now, it's very important to monitor surface finish, and as tolerances have tightened over the past 50, 60 years, form and surface areas are becoming more and more significant. And tighter tolerances are required for products in aerospace, electronics, automotive, medical, and precision manufacturing. And every surface has some function. Unless it is measured, one will not know if the product is performing as is desired. And the chart on the right just gives you a little presentation about how tolerances have gotten a very small part of what they were 60 years ago. Now, why is it important to control surface finish? Well, there's three main reasons, I think. Appearance is a big one, because surface finish affects the reflectivity and consistency of the part. So if you look at the picture on the top right there, you can see one surface is a little shiny and the other one is more buffed out or dull. And this is controlled by surface finish, how that surface is manufactured. And surface finish tools are used to ensure that that surface is consistent and each part looks identical to the others. Monitoring surface finish is also important for surface function. One example is adherence of coatings. Too smooth a surface and maybe the paint or the coating will not stick. But if the surface is too rough, that paint might not cover it completely. And you'll have some marks or some bare spots on the surface. Surface function also talks about surface interaction. When two surfaces, for example, slide together, you want a reduced surface because you want them to slide together smoothly. But you can also at the same time have it smooth, but have a special custom surface built into it that creates gaps for oil to fill in and help with lubrication. So that picture on the lower right kind of shows a roughness profile, but you can have the peaks cut off to increase the bearing area, but you can still see that there are some grooves there to hold the oil. So these designer surfaces are very often used in manufacturing processes. And you want to monitor surface finish to maximize the machining process. It helps you fine tune the speeds and feeds versus the quality of the surface finish. And if you have some problems with the surface finish, that might be an indication that there is a process problem or something wrong with the manufacturing tool itself. Now, where does surface finish come from? Well, it all comes from the basic components of the process. So if we look at this typical lathe diagram here where we have a motor, a gearbox, a belt, driving the spindle. The spindle is moving the part over a tool which slides along the lathe of the bed. Well, each one of those components puts a little bit of surface finish into the part. The tool causes the roughness. The waviness would come from the vibration in the system. Straightness comes from the lay of the bed. So all these components are reflected on the part, and they overlap each other to give a total surface profile. And by using different types of filters, one can pull out each one of those components and analyze it separately. So how do you measure surface roughness? Well, long ago in the past, surface measurement started with a scratch standard. And these were just machined surfaces on a test bed, and people would scratch over that with their thumbnail to get an indication of what that surface roughness is. But now there are many sophisticated methods for measuring that surface. Most of them are mechanical contacts ways of analyzing the surface, but today there's lots of optical ways. Mahr provides them all. But Mahr provides lots of different types of contact to surface evaluation systems. We offer portable roughness instruments for either skidded and skidless measurements, but we also provide some very high precision skidless ones that are pretty comparable to the laboratory type equipment often found in the calibration service area. Now, skidded measurements typically are portable instruments that measure only roughness. And they do that by having a stylus pass through a skid, and that whole probe is moved across the part. The waviness is filtered out by the skid following the surface, and all that is left is the roughness information. So most portable instruments are the skidded type. Moving up a little bit is the skidless measurement, and these have a stylus which is moved across the part by a probe that's referenced to a standard within the drive system. So the profile is measured against the standard, giving us not only the roughness, we can also see waviness and profile by this type of skidless system. So Mahr offers both types of products. Now, are there nearly 100 parameters for measuring surface finish and different evaluation processes for the stability of the manufacturing process, the functional characteristics of the surface, or we can use different analytical capabilities of the instruments to find out what's going on with the manufacturing process. But by far the most common tool or parameter is R sub A, or roughness average. And since the roughness profile contains peaks and valleys of different heights, an averaging method is often used to quantify the surface. There are some other parameters like RZ and Rmax, which are used to analyze the surface, but in the United States, the most common method is RA. So RA is the go-to method for most analysis. It gives a good general indication of the surface. It's the easiest to understand and visualize. It kind of references back to the old scratch standards. And it's easily qualified or quantified with a single number. It's read in microinches or microns. So an example would be R sub A, or roughness average, equals 2 micrometers or 2 microns. Very easy to understand. And like I said, R sub A is the most commonly specified parameter in the US. There might be some confusion exists from the past where RA kind of developed from RMS, but they are not the same. And while people may try to use multipliers to come out and compare them, they are two different parameters. Because roughness average is the arithmetic average of the absolute values of the roughness profile. So RA equals AA or CLA. It does not equal RMS. There is a parameter called RQ, which is the old RMS parameter. Now, one of the problems with RA is that sometimes different surfaces can give you the same RA value. So these two surfaces here, while they look completely different and they have a complete different function in terms of their bearing capability, they will provide the same number. So even though RA is often specified and a good way of monitoring the process stability, there may be other parameters needed to monitor the surface function. And in the other ways of doing this, an R sub max might be used as a method to help evaluate. So here you can see that the peaks and valleys are significantly higher on the right picture than the left. An averaging might smooth those out, and R sub max will give us the difference. So again, choosing the right parameter for the monitoring the process is very. Now, RA is the most common parameter throughout the industry. It's the difference of the vertical height between the highest and lowest values. And R sub Z is a more sensitive than R sub A because it looks at the differences between the heights and the valleys that are not averages. So R sub Z is a very common parameter used in other parts of the world. Now, like I said, Mahr offers a complete portfolio of portable surface shop floor measuring tools, starting with the MarSurf 4. We have the PS10 and the M310 as our skidded part of our program. The M400 is a skidless roughness and waviness profiling system, which has, like I said, the capability of some very high-end systems. But this month, the product of the month is the PS10, which is a skidded roughness measuring system. It's a relatively new product. It's introduced about 3 or 4 years ago, and the whole concept of the PS10 was the fact that it brought simplicity to the user at the point of manufacture. It has a nice, large 4.3-inch touchscreen display, which is rotatable, trying to simulate the user interface of a smartphone. With that, you can have some programmable soft keys. It has an interface that's common with USB, a micro SD card, and can use Mahr Connect. It has the integrated removable calibration standard, which is a unique Mahr capability. With the PS10, we have a removable drive unit, which has a skid protection on it. So now you can pull that out and mount that into stands or use that to go right into parts to reach into deeper bores. Simplicity is an important feature. So we have a nice large green start button. So it's very simple to operate with a battery indicator line because it is a rechargeable system. And we also indicate the battery life with icons. There's a typical configuration, has 31 parameters of surface roughness. Like I said, there's 100 of them, so you figure there's about 30 for roughness, 30 for profile, and 30 for waviness. We have a removable drive unit with built-in protection, which just increases the PS10's capabilities. So like I said, the concept of the PS10 was to put surface finish into the operator at the point of manufacture. You know, typical machine operators go to school to be a machinist. They're not necessarily surface finish calibration or measurement technicians. So we want something that was simple to operate like a smartphone, and that saves training costs and saves from errors happening. The workpiece, because of its probe system, does not have to be that well aligned, so that reduces setup time. It's very fast to response. It will take a measurement within seconds. The storage and logging of data is performed in the machine in a PDF format, so there's no additional software required. The start button also acts as a home button for direct access to the screen functions. And it's really, based on its cost, is a small investment for some very accurate measuring results. Now, when the MarSurf PS10 is plugged into a PC, it's recognized as a memory stick. So it really looks like the ability to store a lot of data, and we store all that data internally, but there's also the additional security or capability of adding a micro SD card. So all that data can be stored. In fact, thousands and thousands of pieces of profile information can be stored on the PS10. And one of the unique features, like I mentioned, was the internal calibration standard. It's a quick and easy way to check the system and guarantee its performance. We talked about the data being stored on the PS10. Well, one of the unique features about the PS10 is that it stores not only the RA value or whatever parameter we're measuring of the 31, but it also stores the profile of the measurement. So these examples on here show a typical chart which can be stored and printed out. It can have the customer's header on it. It has the profiling information. It has the parameters that were being measured. And the PS10 has the capability of assigning tolerances to the parameters so that you can see that we can have green or red indication of when those parameters are in or out of tolerance. Very easy for the operator to use. And there's no additional software required for that. But the PS10 also works with the MarCom software, which is our way of taking data from our products and bringing them into the PC world. So the results can be transferred into a Microsoft Excel document or a text file or to a specific location in a form the customer may be using. And you can collect that data. Either it's automatic by sending data once the measurement is completed, or you can use a foot switch or a keyboard to trigger the PS10 into making a measurement and recording it. MarCom is a very important tool. It's a free tool that Mahr offers. It's, like I say, a way of getting a lot of different tools into a PC, and MarCom does that for free. You can use our wireless products, the PS10. We even have added add-on modules which can collect data and send it to third-party software, to Microsoft Documents, to standard text files or line codes into existing software. And what MarCom Professional allows us to do is also identify the system that's making the measurements, so that we really are tying all the loose ends of data collection, where we can not only store the data, the time it was might have been collected, and the date, but also the specific instrument and serial number of the tool making that measurement. And all those things are easy to do by selecting very simple to use pull down menus and describing and selecting what data you want transferred. We've also included a erase last button nowadays that was missing in the past, so that we can erase one last data entry in case a measurement was made that was incorrect and should be taken over, so that's easy for the operator to use. Like I said, the PS10 is meant for a lot of different applications. It has some unique features built into it. It has V's built into the system and the remote drive so that you can mount the system on a shaft for stability. You can mount the drive system upside down to hold small parts. You can put the drive into remote holders to allow it to bring over to edges and so forth, increasing the versatility of gears and shafts and all turn types of products. You can mount either the PS10 as a unit. We have tools and accessories to mount the whole complete system on an 814 stand or one of the many bench stands that we have. We also have accessories for holding the drive system in our various stands. Again, increasing the versatility makes the product well liked by many users. Now, anytime we can automate the system, we can save time, we can save handling, and we can make the process more efficient. And that's what we can do with the PS10 by employing the drive into small fixture gauges so that the operator doesn't have to align the part or the gauge to the part. So by employing this remote drive unit, the PS10 can be built into a point of manufacture surface finish gauging application. This makes the system robust, easy to use, and the way we designed this, the probe is always protected from accidental damage. It doesn't make contact until the part is properly seated. And Mahr has a series of extensive probes and extensions for the PS10. These are probes that have been proven over the years to be robust and ready for shop use, for small holes, for grooves, for cross radius types of applications. We have a number of different probes that can fit lots of different surface finish gauging needs. We also offer extensions in case the probe has to go far into a bore to make a roughness check. Also have tools for a transverse tracing of shafts, probes to hold the drives or adapters to hold the drive system onto stands, adjustable and rotating adapters, and holding on to magnetic bases. So the PS10 can be used on a surface plate. It can be used at the point of manufacture in the machine tool, for example, or in a calibration lab. There's some more examples of collecting data in different applications. We offer a number of different roughness standards. And we can also make this a wireless device using our wireless add-on modules. And when you purchase a PS10, you get a complete kit. The basic display system itself, the drive unit, which is removable, a standard probe, built-in battery, roughness standard, a calibration certificate, stylus protector, a battery charger, the instruction manuals, a carrying strap, a USB cable, an extension cable for the drive, and a height adjustment, which is integrated into the PS10 itself. So surface finish is a very important part of the manufacturing process to measure. Production automation calls for inspection at the point of manufacture, but the gauging must be powerful but simple and easy to use by an operator, or else it won't be used. And Mahr's complete line of MarSurf mobile roughness instruments are a great solution to put surface finish measurement into the hands of the machine operator. And that brings us to the MarSurf PS10 March product of the month. You all received the flyer showing the special promotion prices of price of $24.75 for the PS10. And if you order it during the month of March, you'll get the special mug, the special Mahr mug, which is a great tool to complement the product. And I think that you'll find the PS10 is a great value for the price with its ease of use and powerful capabilities for measuring surface finish. So why Mahr? Why Mahr for your surface finish or your dimensional gauging needs? Well, we have a great broad line of products for the industrial metrology needs. We have lots of application competence and experience to help support you. Our innovative products, including our wireless hand tools and our portfolio, make us easy to help you reach Industry 4.0 and all the automation requirements that calls for. We have promotional prices and high quality to achieve the best value. And we can offer these tools, and if we provide links of this presentation or specifications, contact us and we will get that information to you. We'll also remind you again of the product of the month, the data sheet and flyer. So thank you for your attention today. It's always a pleasure talking to you and introducing you to the product of the month. Take special notice to get the value of this promotion. And thank you again.